There is no doubt Assassin's Creed Valhalla is one of the most anticipated games of 2020, and the graphics show us it's one of the most gorgeous looking games that we've ever seen. Welcome to the GameCatcher channel, great to have you here. Please like, comment and subscribe. Let's get right into it. Welcome to 873 England. Obviously it's going to be full of battles between Vikings and Saxons. Now one of the main antagonists is Alfred the Great. Now Alfred was the king of Wessex in 871, and he was the king of England from 876 until his death in 899. So you're arriving right when he's the king of Wessex and shortly before he becomes the king of England. The game starts in Norway to help understand the background of the Vikings. And there's warring happening in Norway, there's lack of territory, you've got all these clans trying to expand and they're fighting. And it gives a reason for the Vikings to move. You know, it's not safe back home. They want to move, they want to settle, they want to become stable and have their own future. And so they're moving to England. And when they get to England, they do what they know to do, which is fight. So they come to England and they want to settle, they want to build in the new land. They move to Wessex, they move to Mercia, Northumbria, East Anglia. These are all areas historically where they came and they fought. And that's pretty much all of England. And the uppermost part of the game is Hadrian's Wall, and Hadrian's Wall was set there by the Roman Empire, and it was set there in about 122 AD, and it stood for nearly 300 years, and it was built as the separating wall between the Roman Empire and the barbarians in Scotland. And it's called Hadrian's Wall because it was put there on the order of the Emperor Hadrian. Now, historically, the Vikings came and their main opponent they had was Alfred the Great. But he isn't the main antagonist in Valhalla. They want to depict him fairly. In the game you do fight against him. And Alfred is eventually successful in pushing the Vikings back and unifying England. But this begs the question, who is the main antagonist? And the main antagonist, Ubisoft want you to discover for yourself. They don't want to show you now in the trailer. So you have to play the game and find out who he is. Now we've been told the story structure and the way this plays out is unique to games it's not seen before. But what that means, we'll have to find out. I don't know. The villains, as always, are the Templars. So somehow the main antagonist is going to be tied in tightly with these Templars. Your main character is called Ivor. Now Ivor could be both male or female. And Ivor has been described as a lone wolf with ambitions, but he also has his clan who depend on him. So you can go off and you can do your lone wolf raids and your lone wolf part of the game, or you can focus strongly on building your clan and building your homestead. Now in Valhalla we have a fresh take on this player progression, and we have less RPG as such. The gear mechanic has been completely revamped. Every piece of gear is upgradable, and you can keep all of your gear right from the point you get it all the way through to the end of the game. Now also the skill system is new, and we have a skill graph coming into play. What this means, we don't know, we haven't seen it, but it's all to do with your abilities and your skills, and apparently there's 400 different points on this graph. There's no levels you go through anymore. Instead you have a power system, and the power is based on these skills. You know, in Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, there was a bit of a grind and a push. You had to level up your player, and you had to grind the XP in order to get him powerful enough to take on the enemies, to take on the god battles. And you don't have to do this anymore. Sure, you get power from gaining the skills, but they want you to be able to access the part of the games you want to, when you want to. They don't want you to have to just grind side quests to get powerful enough to get the XP you need to move forward and take on these guys. Now also, you can gain alliances with kings, with other Vikings. You can meet leaders through the game, and you have a choice. You can either fight them, you can remove them, you can subdue them, you can make alliances. What you're trying to do though is you're trying to carve out a place for your people in history. You're trying to protect them. One of the reasons you can choose for either to be either male or female is because in Viking history we know that Vikings were fair to women. We know women had rights. We also know Vikings say women fought. Some historians debate this fact, but Norwegian sagas and myths have these women warriors, and they talk about tough women and these strong characters, and so it's fair and very logical to include a fighting Viking female warrior in the game. When you talk about customization, you can customize your furs, your clothing, your tattoos, your hairstyles, your beards. You can put different colors on them. You can customize your war paint. You can customize the different gear you have. And we know gear is separated into 5 different items, much like how it worked in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You have your headpiece, your gauntlets, your chest, the part below the belt, your boots. Your chest piece can include a big fur. So it's quite exciting to be able to build your character in a unique way, how you want to build him. Now also we've been told there's a mechanic where you can fake your own death. Now how this is actually going to work in the game, we're going to have to find out. You also have, just in terms of the way your own face looks, you have your beard, tattoos, war paint. When we're looking at the mythology in the game, we know that gods are part of everyday Norse life. Norsemen believed the gods roamed the earth. They didn't have them as this esoteric idea in their minds. They had them as these people who walked with them on earth, who they could encounter, who they could talk to. And so it's very possible that you're going to encounter them in the game as you're traveling around. You're going to encounter someone and you're going to think, oh, this is a normal villager or somebody who you have a chat with, when it's one of the gods. And they want you to feel in this game like you're living in England in the Dark Ages. So there's a lot of thought that's gone into the battles, the politics, the mythology. And part of that is the raven that you have. Now, we know this is your raven, but is it actually Odin's lent to you? I'm not sure. In Norse mythology, we know Odin has 2 ravens. One is called Thought, one is called Memory or Mind. And we know our raven is called Sunin. And we also know Sunin it also can help in stealth situations. But how, we'll have to find out. And you have other animals who also assist you. We also have this bear in the concept art, and we've been told you're also going to be able to call a wolf. And also you have mounts other than a horse, but we're going to have to see what they are. Now the settlement is your home, and the idea is the settlement is your heart, it's your motivation, it's your driving force. You build it, and gradually you allow it to house your clan, and you build followers, and you build an army. You have marriages there, you have relationships there. The idea is this story is built around this settlement, and you customize it with new buildings. You build in barracks, you build in a blacksmith, you upgrade your settlement. You do this through various means. One of them is raids. You do the raids, you bring back slaves, you bring back people, you bring back loot, resources, and other surprises, and you can add it to your settlement. Now gear is completely unique, and you go to see the blacksmith to upgrade it, and he gives it new cosmetic visual styles, and he makes it stronger for you, and he makes it more powerful. And you can then choose these styles, and you can pull them across to your different weapons and your different armor, so the same style runs through your entire setup. In reality, settlements were the grounding part of life for any culture. You know, with Vikings, they would get married, they would have their kids. It's where you bring up and where your family live. And so it's important for you to keep this safe and to build this. Now in Valhalla, you get rewarded for your curiosity. And you can also just relax in your settlement if you want to. You can go fishing, you can go hunting, play drinking games, have Viking rack battles. Also, same-sex romance has been confirmed. But also in your settlement you consult with your war chief, and you can send other Vikings on raids and adventures of their own around the country, and then they go off and they raid with your friends, and when they come back they bring back spoils from their raids. So you have additional gold or you have additional resources which are brought into your camp. Now this game on its own has been in development for 2.5 years. Normally an Assassin's Creed game is released every year, but here They've had support from 14 studios worldwide, and they've been really working on getting this game right. And now they're just polishing and debugging it. They're ahead of schedule on their build, and so they're just moving it forward to polish it to make it look perfect. In terms of game engine, they confirmed they're using Anvil Next 2, but they've upgraded the engine, and this is going to be the most beautiful Assassin's Creed yet, and I think we can see that from the various shots and the various things they've put together in the trailers. Now there's going to be no multiplayer, there's going to be no co-op, but as I said earlier, you can share your Vikings with friends online, and they can go on raids and fight with these guys, and they bring back resources. If it's going to weaken your enemies in the game, will be kind of interesting to see if your friend do raids. Is that going to have a direct effect on the people around you? We'll see. Now your longships, we also know, are fully customizable. Your Viking crew are fully customizable, and they live in your settlement. So as you build your settlement, you can build your crew, and then you can choose who you're going to take with you on the various missions. They've also mentioned the Season Pass, and Season Passes are going to bring new lands to explore, new gear, new content, and the first Season Pass is going to be available at launch, and with it is going to become the Legend of Beowulf mission. And this has the tagline, "Discover the cruel truth behind the legend." So we'll see what happens, but it's got their own take obviously on the famous legend of Beowulf. If you pre-order, you also get an additional mission, the Way of the Berserker, and this revolves around you joining a legendary Norse berserker on a revenge quest. When it's released, we know it's going to release holiday of 2020, and it's going to be on every platform apart from Switch, and it's going to have smart delivery. So if you have Xbox One, you can upgrade to the Xbox One X. If you have PS4, you can upgrade to PS5, all at no additional cost. So the big question is, when do we expect to see actual gameplay? It's going to be Ubisoft Forward, which is July the 12th. Obviously this year E3 has been cancelled, but with July the 12th happening and Ubisoft Forward, we're actually going to get gameplay footage, and we're actually going to see how this plays out. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be fantastic. Alright, that's what I have for you today. This is going to be one of the best games of 2020. Holiday 2020 is the release date. I wish I could say I look forward to seeing you in game. Instead, I guess, we're all going to have fun playing this game. We're all going to have fun building our settlements. Please like, comment, subscribe and share. And click on the bell for notifications. That's all from GameCatcher. See you in the next one.